telework is in trouble. A new bill in Congress can reduce the amount that we telework all the way down to 40%, and this is for all federal government employees. So if you're working 3 or more days from home right now, that could all soon be over. They want you to come into the office a lot more. Currently, federal agencies are allowing their employees to work 6, 8 days out of a pay period. Well, that's going to come down to 3 days if you're lucky. But that's just for telework. What about the 100% remote work jobs? Well, this bill could end up eliminating that completely. This bill is called the Back to Work Act, which is being introduced by both a Republican and a Democrat. One exception to this 40% rule is if your job requires you to travel frequently, or if the job is difficult to recruit for. In that case, it's okay to let a person telework more than 40% or even give them a remote work option. For everyone else, it's not okay. Isn't that something? This reminds me of dumb rules that a lot of organizations make. So everyone knows that while you're working, you're not supposed to be looking at Netflix. But then they catch that one employee, let's call him Bob. Bob's in the closet and he's streaming his favorite episode of Downton Abbey or Fallout or whatever it is, and they catch him in the closet with the smartphone up to his face and he's watching it. So now the organization has to create a rule. You cannot watch Netflix while you are working. Obviously, that rule was created for Bob. But now you have 1,000 other employees that have to go ahead and acknowledge that that's a rule. It shouldn't even be a rule. So here's the deal. When you're hiring, make better hires. Stop hiring Bobs. We have many people who are fully capable and who are more productive working at home than going to some cubicle 30 miles away. Not everybody needs a boss over their shoulder. Not everybody needs someone watching them as they're typing up the email. You need to hire better people. That is the solution. Okay, so this bill also requires agencies to recertify. If an employee is teleworking from the house, they have to recertify every 12 months. Not only that, it actually mentions that they're required to monitor employees while they're teleworking and provide Congress a report on productivity. So how's that going to go down? You've seen private companies in the private sector and they're using software. They're using keyloggers to see how many times are you typing on the keyboard per minute or per hour. Some of them are even using the camera to observe you. Is your face there? How often are you present? Give me a percent, 70, 80, 90%. Where is the employee? Are those type of reports? Is that type of software going to be implemented on government computers so that they can observe and feel comfortable that the employee is actually being productive at home? Is there no trust? The real root of why people actually want employees back into the office is the same story from back in the pandemic. You have empty federal buildings. That's costing money to maintain those buildings. And you have to look at the local economies. That is the biggest thing that politicians care about. Local economies. Businesses going bankrupt because we don't have federal employees going in there to buy a sandwich or a cup of coffee or dropping off their dry cleaning. This is a huge issue. It's been an issue and it's only getting amplified. And this is one of the main reasons why we keep talking about bringing more and more people back into the office. In the Telework Reform Act, it doesn't mention or acknowledge the status of 100% remote workers. It pretends like it doesn't exist. So they would be under the same criteria as any other federal employee, meaning they would need to be in the office 60% of the time and only able to work 40% of the time at home. That destroys the concept of 100% remote work. What happens when you destroy one of the main pathways that you're able to recruit and retain highly qualified individuals in the IT space, cybersecurity, engineers? Well, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get those people in to compete with the private sector, where you have some private companies actually offering this as part of their benefits, right? As part of their perks. So when a job announcement is published on usajobs.gov, it is evident to you, me, and HR and all the other agencies, more people apply. More people apply to the remote work positions by the thousands because it's enticing. It attracts. Why would you get rid of that? There are currently between 200 and 600 100% remote work jobs on any day if you get on usajobs.gov. You can search through there, you can apply there. Once you get the job, most of the time, you can live in whatever state you want. Pick whatever state you want. You can live there and you can work. You can even change states. That's fine. Not a big issue. The big issue, though, comes when you're competing for it, right? Because the competition is fierce. It's not like your regular job where you're applying on site in a job in North Dakota that, maybe a handful of other people might be applying for. It's easier to get in. When you're competing against thousands, it's not easier to get in. So what does that mean for you? That means your resume needs to be well written. It needs to be actually relevant and have strong achievements that speak towards that job announcement. That's going to make the difference. I don't think that this bill is actually going to see any traction this year. At the end of the year, let's say maybe the president changes out, we're under a Republican administration, then it could get a lot more traction. But we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. As of right now, everything is the same. People that are able to telework are still teleworking. Remote work, still remote work. Speaking of the president, every year, the president releases its budget. This budget greatly impacts federal agencies on how they're able to hire, on how they're able to train and develop their workforce. So the budget was put out to 2025. If you want to know, how is that going to impact agencies? Who is going to be hiring the most in this upcoming 12 months? If that interests you, then I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.